right, you feeling stressed? I got you. Hey there, Enterprisers, what's good? It's Jason Lago here again, and in this video I want to talk to you about some stress management hacks for the busy entrepreneur. That's right, stress management hacks for the busy entrepreneur, okay? Now the reality is, if you're in business or if you're not in business, we all have to deal with stress at some point in our life, whether you're a parent or just a person working a job. But most definitely, if you're in business and trying to build and grow an online business, you're definitely gonna come across some stressful times in your life, in your career, and in your journey. Now with that said, how should we deal with it? I'm gonna give you 3 very simple ways today that'll help you go ahead and deal with them. I believe that these have been some very effective ways in terms of managing your stress levels. Let's just get right into it. Number 1, take meaningful breaks. Okay, take meaningful breaks, all right? Not much is, and not enough, in my opinion, is spoken about break time, especially as it pertains to the entrepreneur. A lot of the times when we think break time, we're thinking about someone who's working a traditional job, a job, and that's kind of vilified in the world of online marketing and building your business and things like that. But the reality is, if you're working on something and it's causing you to become stressed, or working on many things that are causing you to become stressed, then you've got to find a way to take a break from that. And oftentimes a meaningful break, a systematic break, is what's going to do just the trick. It's definitely going to get you to refocus and to bring your stress levels down. I would again just caution you to be systematic and deliberate about it, to be meaningful about it. And here's what I mean. A lot of the times when someone, an entrepreneur per se, in this example, if they're really stressed with a certain project, what they'll do is they'll take a break from that, but then they'll go start another project. All right, and you can see how that's kind of counterproductive. It's almost counterintuitive because you're taking a break from this to start this. Now you're juggling 2 different things and they're both bringing you stress. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I would just caution you in that regard and just encourage you to take a meaningful break, okay? And do it maybe more often. And me personally, I'm guilty of not doing this all the time. For me, I'm the guy who likes to take on multiple projects at once and blast through the entire day. And I put my head to the grindstone, and when I look up, all of a sudden several hours have passed by. And so I'm guilty of this just as much as the next person. But take meaningful breaks, you know, and one of the best things that you can do if you're fortunate enough to live in a place that is conducive to this is just to go for some fresh air and take a nice walk. Now, me personally, for instance, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, right? And being in that environment, it was very easy for me from time to time to step out of the office and just go for a nice, cool, brisk walk in the woods. All right, very, very nice for me to be able to do that. And you could tell that the amount of level of stress that would just fall off of me as I could go there and be deliberate in my thoughts and walk on a nature walk, essentially. It was amazing. Now, of course, I live in a place that's a little bit more tropical. I live in basically paradise, being here on the Space Coast in Florida, to where when I walk outside now, if I want to go for a gorgeous, stunning walk alongside some of these beautiful beaches that are just minutes away, I again am able to be reinvigorated by the rushing sound of the tropical beaches and the nice warm weather, getting all the vitamin D and the sunshine. It really is something truly amazing. And so if you live in a situation like that, let me go ahead and encourage you to take advantage of that. Now, if you don't live in a place like that, then no worries. Find something else to do with your break time. Again, you want to just make sure that you're spending that time decompressing and de-stressing, not focusing and starting another item of task that will bring you more stress in your life. Find a way to recenter, to take it down a notch, and find yourself handling your stress a whole lot better. Number 2, curb your perfectionism. Curb your perfectionism. Now, I didn't say curb your enthusiasm, I said curb your perfectionism. And likely, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you've heard me harp on this time and time again in the past because it's oh so true and very applicable to those of us who are entrepreneurs. As such, as entrepreneurs, as problem solvers, as business builders, we want things to be just about perfect, right? We want things to be established and associated with our name of the highest order, the highest quality, the highest caliber. And I can appreciate that. I'm that very, very same way. With that said, however, you got to be careful that you don't chase perfectionism. If what you're waiting for is for things to be perfect before you motivate, before you initiate, before you launch it, before you activate it, then you're headed for doom. And that's a lot of the reason of why you're stressed in the first place, is just because you're not getting something just right. Well, something doesn't need to be just right in order to be revenue producing, right? It doesn't need to be perfect to be profitable. So I'm going to say this again, like I've said it before, but done is the new perfect, all right? And I encourage you to adopt this mindset. Don't worry about being perfect. Get something done, get something out there, get something live, and then from there you can perfect it as you go. curb your perfectionism. Number 3, and finally, downgrade through delegation. Downgrade through delegation, okay? And this is crucial. And when I say downgrade, by the way, I don't mean to downgrade your quality of work. I don't mean to downgrade your work ethic or your involvement in a particular project. What I am simply saying is downgrade your personal workload, okay? And the way that you do that is by delegation. So often as entrepreneurs, going back to my last point, is that we try to wear every single hat. And I understand when you're starting out bare bones, building something from the ground up, it requires that a lot of the times. However, there are so many more times I would argue that you're not even aware of, maybe just not cognizant of realizing, you know what, I don't need to do this particular project or this particular task. Or better yet, there might be something who could do it even better than me. Yes, it's for me to control the vision and the direction of where we're going, but the reality is the technical skills and the time could be used resourcefully of somebody else, and that might be the better way to do this, okay? So find a way to delegate some of the things that are on your plate, and I think that if you offload as much off your plate as possible, that doesn't absolutely require your involvement or your presence or your oversight, then you might find yourself, I dare say, becoming even more productive and obviously less stressed. So find a way to do it. Develop teams, develop systems, and find ways to offload the things that you either don't want to do or don't need to do, all right? Find a way to delegate that, to downgrade your involvement in this particular work project, and find yourself de-stressed in the process. There you have it, my friends. Listen, thank you so much again for tuning in and enjoying this. Hopefully that this was helpful in some regard. One of these 3 things. Go ahead and drop me a comment below and let me know which one of these things do you think it makes the most sense to you, and probably the one that you're gonna start implementing right now if you haven't been already, all right? Now make sure you leave me a like and, like I said, comment, but obviously the most important thing is subscribe and hit the notification bell, and that way you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. Also, if you hadn't had a chance yet, go ahead and click on the link below, download a free copy of my Digital Freedom Shortcut. It's the exact resource that I use to leave the corporate lifestyle to doing exactly what I'm doing now, and I couldn't be more happy and more proud to share it with you. All right, that's it, my friends. I'll see you next time. Take care.